patients that you think may have, some skeletal integrity issues. The only other contraindications are orthostatic hypertension. They need to have been in a scanning program, or we recommend it prior to getting into the device. Range of movement of joints, and skin integrity, particularly where the straps are going. Other than that, it's just the cognitive ability to operate the joystick, although, as I said, we'd have physical therapists operating the joystick on behalf of someone as well.
A T-handle is also available for the joystick if that's of assistance.
All right. And then back. Perfect.
The counterindications would be they need a 0 to 90.
There we go.
And,
Perfect.
if they are tight, along the Achilles and so forth, you have to make that choice as a medical professional. More stretching, or as you'll see as Sherry brings him to a stand, she'll take a look and check how everything feels, and if she's not happy that it's too tight, she'll bring the individual back down, and then maybe that's additional stretching. Or perhaps they may not be a candidate based on,
We want to make sure that
One of the
But the
benefits of
ankle
being
doesn't move, right?
the ankle does. The ankle does, yeah. I mean, one of the benefits of being able to slow the device down is if there are issues in terms of range of movement or spasticity, you can bring someone up quite slowly. Interestingly, the most common anecdotal benefit from users in the device is reduction in pain and spasticity.
Tuck it this way.
We get that a lot.
Another, when you're talking about like your plantar dorsiflexion, you can play with that a little bit. We put wedges in, so you can do that. Eversion and inversion would be more of a concern than dorsiflexion.
Just like that. To this side, just like that.
Other than that, fracture, subluxation, dislocation, again, that's some of your choices. We're, working a little bit down at Walter Reed, they're actually looking at
You're
AMTs,
gonna do a lift
which will have its own challenges, but they want
Yeah,
to
put
move
it
forward
through
with
here.
that because we've seen so many coming back from our armed forces.
Sorry. Okay, so you're gonna grab this, and I'm gonna grab this. You got it? And we're gonna
Push his knee back.
Yep. Okay, lift. And tight.
Can you adjust the parameters of the step?
And I'm gonna
Okay.
Go ahead, relax.
Yeah, the unit itself has a lot of adjustable parameters. It's interesting where we're starting in the United States.
Now, do I just tighten mine up a little bit?
However, in other
Yeah, you're gonna need to put this as far over to this side as you can to start with when you tighten it, because, go ahead and relax.
it will literally cause
You really want these tight.
it's-
And we're gonna loosen them up once we get them up.
One thing that Sherry's
But
working
again,
on
when we transition to
is
standing,
more
it's really important that
exercises to be built into the software where you just again dial to what you want to do.
There you go.
And abduction or whatever it was. So we would be adding on constantly, and there's some ability obviously to keep your system fresh as an agent. But it's interesting here in the United States with here and Methodist and so forth. We have Institute in Michigan wrapping up a trial there.
You're gonna do the thigh straps?
Same way?
Same way.
The demand's been quite.
So it's on the inside here, or are you putting it to that spot?
You're bringing it to,
So.
I'm not trying to tuck it between here and here.
Pretty exciting.
I actually do
So
on
some,
him.
another
This is
interesting thing
very
about
thin
the-
in comparison to the machine.
The University of Houston have two of our devices, and they're working with
We want it to end up on the front.
EEG,
It's okay.
brain machine
Scoot a little
interface, to record someone in the device walking and thinking walk or stop or turn, and then they're using that completely hands off and hands free to trigger the device to operate it. So someone simply
Access to the
thinks
last strap.
walk, and it triggers the device
Up
to
underneath
actually walk.
here.
And it's early days for that research, but they've demonstrated it in 8 individuals now, spinal cord injured individuals. So it's pretty exciting stuff, the brain machine.
And again, we're gonna be at the end of that Velcro position.
I don't see the Velcro piece that you put across.
Yeah.
Ah. I know that's. And this slots into here.
So typically, the longest part of the setup is getting those initial measurements on your client. We generally take it 3 times, so we come up with
I'll
an
take
average.
this.
And then
Snug,
setting the
but not
machine from there,
massively
once
tight.
it's charted, literally 5 to 7 minutes to change from client to client.
Kevin, you're okay with this?
Mhm.
Okay.
last thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ask you to do just a little lift, and I have to get a little bit personal, I'm sorry about that. Just bring this down so you can push out of that, okay? Just gotta reach up underneath your butt a little bit. Get it? There we go. There we go, okay, you're good.
Do you want this one in there?
Yep, it goes right there. You got it, go ahead.
So the abdominal strap is going up loosely to begin with until they get upright, and then all of the straps will be readjusted and repositioned.
We're gonna bring your legs back together,
Kind of, you get like, and this is what it is now, right?
Okay.
and then we're gonna bring your legs back underneath you. Okay?
So if you got it-
No, I'm just gonna bring the height up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Feel all right?
Mm-hmm.
You feel comfortable?
Yeah.
First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna stand up. I'm asking you to just go ahead and stand in front of him because he knows you better than he knows me. And I'm gonna be behind him. And all you're gonna do is just put a foot on the foot plates to keep the foot plates down on the floor. Just a little bit, supporting yourself on your arms, okay?
Is it okay to use this?
Yep, you can put your hand on there, just don't hit the red button, okay?
But if you do, it'll just stop.
If you do, it'll just stop. It's not like it's gonna do anything, okay? So you're just gonna put your foot there and just guide it up. I'm gonna guide it from the back, okay?
You're just going to bring your nose over your toes, just make sure your foot stays there.
There you go, perfect. Okay, and as we come up, I'm actually gonna pull your shoulders back as you go. All right, here we go. Okay. Now we're gonna actually tighten this, so we give him some trunk support, and you just pull on this one underneath, and that'll tighten. And I'm just gonna help hold you. If you bring this up, that'll bring it up a little higher. There you go.
You okay, Heather?
Can you hold your head up?
Yeah.
There you go. All right, I'm gonna turn the whole machine off because I wanna look at the pelvis. Alignment.
What is the whole
What number do we get?
For
The two together? 8, it should be 418 and 432, so that gives us 840, 850. Okay, so that's gonna be.
oh, for the tilt, I'm sorry.
So what they're looking at
And
is
I'm
a
gonna actually
matrix
try him in a B2
based on the
start.
height,
It's on the
length of the two long bones. It gives you 6 pelvic positions
So
that you
you-
dial through based on that, those measurements.
So you can adjust the hip tilt,
Right.
give more or less support depending on what
That
sort
feel
of
better?
posture someone has.
Gives you a little bit more support?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, you look better in that position. Okay, you ready? We're gonna do a lean first, okay? So we're gonna lean to your left first, and all it's gonna be, it's just literally gonna take you over here, okay? Ready? To the left. And now we're gonna come back to the center. And now we're gonna go to the right. And we're gonna go back to the center. You good? Okay. Now I'm gonna turn it off for a second because I wanna check a couple of things, okay? So what we're gonna check for is we're actually gonna check and see how tight this is. And you notice that when somebody stands up, these actually get very, very tight. So we're actually gonna loosen them, okay? And loosen them to the point that
So
you
again,
can
we
get
just
2
wanna do a
fingers
finger
in
check on
between,
all the pressure
okay?
points.
All the components of
All right.
the unit are within the unit, no pieces change out.
That's correct. One thing that we will be introducing is some additional calf pads and depth, because we found the therapist came to us and said we really want to use this with stroke patients. So there maybe not as much atrophy, so we may have some with
So
a
maybe a
larger
little
calf.
I
tighter.
And
think
maybe
so.
skin
Sure.
therapy will make it
Yeah,
not as
I
big
would.
of an issue as it may be with spinal cord. So, we're gonna give you some different options in that one development for this
Yeah, you want it firm, but you still, yeah, that's good, okay? So you just wanna be able to get those fingers in there, but you don't want it so loose that it allows him,
Right away.
You can't get 'em any tighter.
So,
we can put some padding in, but there's not any Velcro
Yeah.
there. I could use these,
Yep. Yep.
why don't we just do that?
Yep.
so the harness within the
What's the whole
system
system?
itself will hold
99.
approximately 40%.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And it's not there to naturally support them, but it's to support the pumps.
So it's trying to keep the centre of gravity low,
And then
which
as
is
Mal
one
was
reason it
saying,
needs to be
it's
as
really
much as it
It
weighs.
really puts a balance.
Because as you can imagine, when you put something in, the centre of gravity shifts.
Pulmonary and digestive.
Pardon my closeness here, young man.
Yeah, so the
There we go.
the clinical trials
A little bit
that
more support.
are either being undertaken or that are about to start
And then pardon my-
involve looking at some of these clinical benefits that you would expect, like bowel and bladder, nucleus,
Alright, and then take a step.
cardiovascular,
What I'm
pain,
gonna ask you to
spasticity,
do
and sleep.
is don't look at
These
your
are some of the
feet.
anecdotal
I know it's hard.
benefits that have been reported. And makes intuitive sense.
There's nothing
right?
for like a
Upright
therapist, like,
and mobile.
to grab.
No, what you
There
do
would
as a
be a lot of
therapist
benefit to that.
is you wanna just either put a hand here, or what I tend to do is just put a hand on the outside, just like I would if I was walking with someone, and then I'm holding here. But to be very, very honest, I don't need to do a whole lot with the machine, it's gonna do everything. I'm here, and you're here, just in case he loses balance or goes into a spasm, and that causes the machine to do something unusual, okay? So we're here for a protective mechanism, but pretty much the machine's gonna do what it needs to do. Okay, you wanna try pushing? All right, we're gonna do one step, so that means you push it forward one time till you hear a beep, and then you let go, okay? You're gonna lean left, it's gonna step with your right foot, and then you're gonna lean to the right. There you go. How do you feel?
Good.
Okay? So now we're gonna hold it forward, and I want you to look up and look at all the nice people out there, okay? Off we go. And just hold it forward till you wanna stop. You can just keep it in there if you want. Are we good? Mark?
Yeah, yeah. Look, there will be some movement because the pads have enough movement underneath it. Some movement. If you can imagine, if you keep it so rigid, and there is a small amount of misalignment, which inevitably there will be in terms of the palpations that you make and the measurements you make, it's not going to work as well.
What
So just commenting on feet lifting.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can fix that.
Depends on range of movement as well. But the ankles, that's another reason why the feet are not held down. To provide less resistance. Yeah. But it also shows you how much weight bearing is going on in the pads.
Is it both feet or one foot?
Yeah.
Right foot.
Mainly
Right.
right foot.
Okay,
Right
let's
foot,
try that.
More than left.
Right foot.
See if that's better.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? Off you go.
Toes to lift.
Toes okay to lift. Just so long as the heel's not lifting up and twisting.
On the right, it's more than the left.
What we may actually be seeing is dorsiflexion. Because the heel's staying down. I'm not seeing the heel
The
come up.
heels down, the plantar flexion is, like,
Yeah, what he's doing is he's actually dorsiflexing. So that may be a spasming, that may be his muscles reacting, could be anything.
How does
You
it
wanna try a
feel?
turn?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
How does it feel?
Good.
Is it? There's a mirror there if you wanted to see yourself.
You wanna see yourself walk? Yeah? All right.
good idea.
I turn?
Yeah. So don't
Yep, you
just.
just turn it.
So the other way is you can work with the unit and focus, especially in the beginning, that will be on the high risk potential. Moving the attendant or showing you the position that
And now you can turn it again.
cancel button, and you see
Back
something
up
you
a
don't
little.
like.
You can, go ahead and walk back.
Where we
Okay. And then you can just turn it and hold it. And it'll keep on turning. There you go. I'll close over. Okay, stop. And let's walk backwards a little bit. Take 2 steps back.
If you don't step on something that's not flat, like it's something on the floor, if the machine sense it, then it's not, it would just keep going like it's.
It will. So one of the reasons that we recommend that a therapist be around is because there is a lot of equipment in therapy room, right? So if we had that problem and the foot plate hit, there's a cancel button up here that either you hit or you tell him to hit the emergency stop. Stops the whole machine. Get yourselves calmed down, comfortable, and reset the whole thing.
You'll see
So
video on YouTube and various sources where the personal device overseas is climbing stairs or going up and down ramps.
Okay.
So the personal device does
there you go.
So the personal bike can do stairs?
But the FDA takes a pretty dim view of stairs at the moment. Another device has been removed out from their indications for use, so it may be
I'm
some
gonna
time
slide you
before
just
that's
a little bit so you're going straight. There you go. Now you're gonna be going straight.
So one thing you wanna do is observe the floor, move it, levels.
You said there's one speed, or is there multiple?
So that's 100%, it can be ramped down. So if for whatever reason you want to control things and move things slow, that's quite possible. Or if someone starting out is not comfortable with that speed, they can move it slow. It seems not seem so much, but for people who are using it, it's actually completely fine.
Good.
It's,
You wanna try sidestepping?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna wanna turn that way.
So any thoughts or questions? I'm really interested in your feedback because there are a lot of applications to this that we're only just exploring.
Okay, and one
And
more
where we
time.
can get valuable feedback from therapists who may
How does it go to stepping and
Okay, so to do sidestepping, you actually have to change to another menu option, and that's that word shuffle. No, all you do is you just rotate this, and that's gonna take you down to that one. So just rotate it, if you don't go the right direction, just turn it the other way. There you go. So shuffle actually stands for sidestep. Because it's from New Zealand, they use slightly different words for different things. So depending upon which way you wanna go, if you take it, the joystick to the right, you'll go to the right. If you take the joystick to the left, you'll go to the left.
Could you? Yes.
So whichever way you wanna go.
In terms of
How far has this gone in New Zealand?
commercially available?
Like, can a person there buy it for personal use?
There is
So
we have
that's what you see.
3
Now it's a better
users,
challenging
no,
area
4
there
users
to
in
try and
the,
operate with someone who's
in the
using it for
world
the
right
first
now
time.
that are using it personally, and there's a 5th going out as we speak. One of them actually works for us
The step size
in
is
the
fixed, again, because it's
manufacturing
secure,
site,
because it needs
building
to have
Rexes
its
in a
really
Rex,
good plates.
which is pretty cool.
size,
Yeah.
He's a
the
T4.
way that it moves in the
And then we have another
changes
person in
according
the
to
UK who also
automatically
works for
according to
us,
what height
and
it's
she's
set.
our marketing
So
person,
that's now
or one of our
automatically
marketing people,
maintained.
and she uses it to paint. She uses it to cook in, she uses it for some things around her house.
Yep.
But instead of full step.
There is
you can
another
drop it to
gentleman up in Canada
half step
who
or
actually
something
has
like
one,
that, distance.
and he
There's
mostly
no,
uses his
There's no ability
as an
currently to
exercise
adjust
device,
the
'cause he's a
step
higher
size
level,
or
he's
step
at a,
length.
I
Is
think
it possible?
C6.
Absolutely, there's a whole lot of things possible.
So he actually
But,
needs
you know,
assistance getting in and out of it.
isolating individual actuators,
So
for
he
instance,
really doesn't use it
all
around the
available
house
there.
for anything,
Um,
he really uses
terms
it
of
more to
what
control
is currently
spasms
available,
and those kinds of things.
It's-
The other 2 users actually are
But
independent
there's a
getting
lot
in
of
and out of
things
it, so they get in it and do some
Yeah.
things, get
in
back
terms
out of it.
potential to
So it all just kind of depends on what level you are as to
Yeah.
how you would use it in a home environment. But like I said, in those places, they're in it for a couple of hours, then they come out, then they go in, then they come out. a couple of different ways. All right, you ready?
Going sideways.
And you can hold it once you've done one. It works the same way as the walking. So if you want to keep going that way, it'll keep going that way.
Which one is surface is it? It's in the bottom surface.
It's a nylon.
Yeah.
So, on a surface like this, it can move pretty well.
Whatever you want to do.
What's the biggest
all
challenge
you-
you've seen
Can I
with
try and sit
with some
down?
of the higher level injuries?
Do I
So
have to
the
go
highest
over
level
the-
injuries I've seen.
No,
are in,
I'm gonna actually support you back here. Do you wanna go all the way to sitting?
Yeah.
Then we
And
can
it
go
really
back over.
varies between.
So you're gonna wanna turn that one. Let's back up a step first so we give ourselves some more space, okay?
I have to swap it back to walk.
Swap it back to walk. Very nice. Good job. You got this.
In terms of, it's really as simple as just do that each function in place. Which is usually
All right.
Then I would
just
make
fine,
it
it's
right.
range of movement.
Yep,
it's
you're just
a
gonna make a
good
straight
in
turn.
fact,
You got it.
when it comes to the hypertension, we've had individuals in the device who've been worried about the blood pressure because when you're standing down, they do have trouble. When they get a miss, they have a problem in the leg. Whether it's that, that's
Okay,
because of
pull
the
back
side
towards
of
me
the
again.
back,
Yep,
being in the
yep,
device
you
side,
got it.
I don't know. But one guy we had the device on that stood for 10 or 15 years, and he was just fine. You know. There's no big reason, it's not even helping him for a long time, or been in the chair for a long time. I think
Well,
range of
if I were to
movement's
turn
one of
it
the
again, would it
biggest
make me
issues.
go facing that
And
way?
maybe that you can work with that. and you
It's
can
actually
gradually
probably
get
gonna
into
bring
a
you a little
position
bit more
where
this
you
way.
can
So what I'm
use
gonna
it.
do is I'm just gonna slide you a little bit.
There's no things for like little turn or like,
There really isn't. We haven't gotten far enough to actually be able to adjust that turn. The hope is that we will be able to do it in gradations rather than it being a set pattern, that you as the therapist will be able to adjust how much turn you give it, but we're just not there in the development.
That, to me, it's along the lines of
Would-
what you're
if I
asking.
were to
about.
use
I
this
think
on
in
carpet,
a home
would it-
use, it
would
might
you be able to
more
turn?
perhaps than-
Depends on
Would
the
it be a lot
carpet.
harder?
We haven't come
Yes, it
across
is
that.
a lot harder,
issue
and
too
depending
much.
upon the carpet, it actually may not even be appropriate.
Yeah.
If it's got a lot of thick padding underneath, it actually makes it somewhat unstable. So our recommendation at this point is to stay on a flat and solid surface. There are some carpets you can get away with, but you
Like
really have to be
thin
practiced.
carpets?
Really thin, stiff carpets, but again, we recommend at this point, just tile and hard floors, yeah. Good question. Got any space over there? I'm gonna move a little bit this way so you can come back behind him a little bit more. That way you won't get split quite so much. You're watching.
So say we purchase one, are there different options like lease control?
in any of the, you said there's 4 people that have them, 5 people that have them.
We do have
Four,
a great
one's
Four,
working.
yeah, yeah.
Now, would insurance, their insurance, would any of them go for it?
Well,
Or is it all?
now here's the interesting thing. What we've discovered, number one, we don't have a personal device available here in the state technology. So, we're not. But in the rest of the world, car insurance works differently than it does here. And so all of, well, the one that has been purchased outright
Again,
is a
we have
personal
that
injury
each of the
claim.
facilities to investigate what they
And
wanna
so
go
it's
under,
all
and it
being
varies so
paid
much
for
from state to
by
state, carrier to carrier.
insurance
It
through
would
car
be very
insurance.
presumptuous of me to
But
sit there and
here in the
say, okay,
States,
but If you look at the wide
We don't
variety
have
of
that
codes with the
ability.
modality.
So it's gonna be
Everything from neurological.
a matter of
on
really,
to
really
gait
sitting down with Blue
researchers.
Cross Blue Shield
you know, that's
and the
really
big guys, and
facility
just
we see
showing
that
them how this is going to
So I don't wanna
prevent
make a claim that you wanna build them.
further complications
It's
for
certainly a code where
individuals,
if you're using modality.
and
in
that it's
conjunction
worth
with
it
with your
to
therapy.
spend that money up front,
Mhm.
rather than having to spend it as you go.
Yeah, so there
I
are,
think
there are
that's-
facilities.
We've got a lot of
building
work
up.
before we
yeah,
get to the
largest
point where an
by far.
insurance company
Yeah.
is gonna be able to do that. But I can tell you that Rewalk has been, approved by Blue Cross Blue Shield, at least by their own report. So they're paving the way for us.
Mhm.
So by the time that we're ready for a personal device, we may
We
be able
cover a
to do
little bit
that.
of that in the training.
Mhm.
Okay, so now you're gonna wanna do your turn, yes,
At least
yes,
some
perfect.
suggestions and guides for.
You wanna go this way? Okay. So keep holding it that way, and it's gonna turn again. There you go.
You might need to read my book.
There you go, and stop. And now you're just gonna back straight up. It's gonna take that extra step, come to a stop. I'm gonna shift you just slightly, and then you're just gonna walk
It's just
straight
that
back.
fundamental
You got it?
Well,
change,
well,
because
notice
it's
stop when it's.
No, it won't, so I'm gonna give you some guidance on when you should,
Yes,
okay?
it's also very nice.
You, sir, have got excellent questions. Fantastic. One more step.
If it hits something, it won't, it doesn't stop, it just keeps pushing, what will happen, it'll push them forward then, right?
Yes. So you do wanna pay attention to how close you are getting to objects.
But if,
And
if
it's-
something like that occurs, you just press
Yeah, you
the
just
stop
hit the
button,
stop button.
you know, bring it back to a standing position.
You good?
And that's why you need a therapist, so you don't back up too far.
Exactly. All right, so what I'm gonna have you do is loosen these just slightly. And the way that you do that is you can actually pull this that direction, and it should loosen. Sometimes it will, and sometimes it won't, to be honest.
Backup sensor.
So let's just
So, when the battery drains,
Mhm.
and if somebody's using it, what is its default mode? Does it just stop in mid-stride?
Yep, go ahead.
or
It'll
does
give
it
you,
go back
Rotate
to
it
give
to
you a
sit.
lot of warning.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll tell you, there's an indicator on there about what level the battery's at. When it gets to a certain level,
Pull hard.
I think it's 10%, it'll give you a warning, and even after that, it gives you enough time to get back. sit
Okay, you
down.
remember how you went
Maybe
to
if it
sit,
does
to get
stop,
up? Where you
standing,
lean forward and
you
put your
charge
nose
the
over your
battery.
toes?
So you
Comes with
Yep.
two batteries.
Yep,
And
and
what's the
push it back, or
charging,
pull it back towards you,
Time.
and that's gonna put it into a sit.
Yeah, it's very quick, it's a smart camera, has one microprocessor with
Now,
it
if
as
you
well.
will, push that button twice,
In the,
and you're locked
you know,
out, and
everything
you're
is
good to
16
go.
minutes. It's
So we're gonna
lasting
undo
continuous
everything?
use. That's what we're imprint, it lasts
How'd it feel, Kevin?
considerably.
Good.
I'm gonna ask you to, I'm gonna put that up out the way. Move that out of the way.
It was interesting, again, in England, they can use it in the open atmosphere, so I spoke to a guy that, you know, hadn't, he used to love to shoot, various, whatever it is in.
Brooklyn, please report back to the River Clinic. Brooklyn, please report back to the
We've
North.
got a guy who works in the UK in New Zealand, who's got a spinal cord and leg injury, and he gets around between his chair and one of these.
Yep, and keep it start on strap. Got it.
In the factory. Another lady in the UK who's an ambassador for us, she's a painter. She can stand at the paint, and you'll see video of
But
her
when people like say,
cooking in her kitchen.
I want to be a
I
teacher,
think it's so
but I grew
for
up
me,
above
when we
6
get to
foot
the
4,
vocational side.
but they make them
you
for people
know,
above 6
we
foot
built
4.
systems.
By the time you
standing
get to
frame,
that point, we probably will be able to do that, yes, sir.
You know,
Absolutely.
think about an attorney facing and talking to
My
somebody.
Are you
dad's
thinking
only
you're gonna
6
be
foot.
high? You think you're gonna be
I'm just
taller than
wondering.
6'4"?
You know, my dad's only 6 foot. and
Okay.
My grandpa's 6'9".
Your grandpa's 6'9"?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Now, what I suggest is slide as far forward as you can get up there without jamming into that, okay? And then you're gonna just come up into here and then back into your chair. And that is a young man who would get to the point of being independent.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Did a
Good
great
job.
I can do all transfers by myself. My grandpa just doesn't like letting people do things by themselves.
So
I
what'd you
can
think?
transfer
What was
off
your
the floor
experience?
all by myself.
Right.
So did you like the experience?
Yeah.
So you guys can stand up for one minute?
Heather, when you were in it, did you feel like you were falling forward, or did you feel
Well,
secure?
when I
upright?
first did the lean, I kind of did. But then, when I felt it get its balance, I knew I wasn't going to fall.
And if anybody else wants to, stand in it and take a little walk about, we can. We won't strap you in, but you can get a feel for the sensation.
Yeah, you wanna have a try?
Oh, that's you.